Today, we've got a story that has rocked the entertainment world. Brad Pitt has finally revealed the real reason behind his close friend George Clooney's shocking divorce. This is a revelation that has left fans speechless, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every detail of what Brad had to say. So grab a snack, sit back, and stay tuned until the very end. In an exclusive interview, Brad Pitt, one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, spoke candidly about his friend George Clooney's high-profile divorce. For years, rumors have swirled about Clooney's marriage to Amal Clooney, and after their sudden split, fans couldn't help but wonder what went wrong. Brad Pitt, who has been through his own public relationships, shared insights into what might have led to the end of George and Amal's marriage. For the first time ever, he broke the silence and gave us a closer look into George's personal life, something no one expected from the typically tight-lipped actor. While many assumed that George's divorce was the result of a fling or a miscommunication, Brad revealed something that no one saw coming. According to Brad, it was actually a growing sense of disconnection and differing life goals that caused the separation between George and Amal. As shocking as it sounds, Brad admitted that sometimes, even the most seemingly perfect relationships can face irreparable challenges when two people realize they want different things for their future. George, who had always been known for his love of freedom and adventure, began to feel that his marriage was constraining his personal desires. Amal, on the other hand, who has always been fiercely dedicated to her career and humanitarian work, found herself at a crossroads, as her ambitions pulled her in a direction far away from the life George envisioned. Brad mentioned that George was especially torn by this conflict. The actor had been used to living a life full of excitement and spontaneity, but Amal's constant international travels and commitments made it difficult for them to sync up. Despite their undeniable chemistry and shared passion for making the world a better place, their differences ultimately took a toll. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Brad shared how George had confided in him during some of the hardest times of the marriage. George was always optimistic, but there were moments he seemed like a man at war with himself, Brad revealed. He wanted a partner to join him in a more laid-back lifestyle, but Amal's world was filled with more responsibility than he could handle. This emotional strain, Brad noted, led to a lot of introspection for George. It wasn't about losing love, it was about wanting something more out of life, and eventually, that desire became stronger than the love they once shared. Brad went on to explain that while George still holds deep affection for Amal, he recognizes that sometimes love isn't enough to overcome fundamental differences. Brad's admission also touched on how George's divorce affected their friendship. Having known George for decades, Brad admitted that he had never seen his friend so vulnerable. It was hard for him, but it was even harder for us as friends because we've seen George go through so much and always come out on top. But this was different, Brad explained. Pitt emphasized that despite the separation, both George and Amal remained friends. There was no drama, no public feud, just two people growing apart as they ventured down different paths. In a way, it's like we're all just rooting for George to find peace in his own way, Brad said. Life doesn't stop for anyone, and sometimes, you have to choose your own happiness, even if that means walking away from something that seemed perfect. Now that George's divorce has been finalized, many fans are wondering what's next for the Hollywood superstar. Brad Pitt suggested that George may be focusing on his personal happiness for the first time in years. According to sources close to the actor, George has been spending more time traveling, rediscovering his love for filmmaking, and even considering new romantic ventures. However, Brad believes that George is not rushing into anything. He's taking his time, Brad revealed. He's been through a lot, and right now, his focus is on self-healing and moving forward. Brad's reflection on George's divorce also gave us a deeper understanding of life in the spotlight. As fans, we often view celebrities as having perfect lives, but Brad's insight reveals that even the most successful and famous people struggle with the complexities of love, work, and personal growth. In the end, Brad emphasized the importance of prioritizing happiness and being true to oneself, something that can be hard to do in a world that demands so much of your time and attention. It's clear that Brad Pitt's support for his friend George is unwavering, and even though the world will continue to speculate about the reasons behind their split, it's comforting to know that both men have each other's backs during these challenging times. As we wrap up today's story, let's take a moment to acknowledge the lasting bond between Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Their friendship has withstood the test of time and challenges, and it's evident that their support for one another is unwavering, even when things get tough. While we may never fully know all the details behind George's divorce, it's reassuring to hear that he's not going through it alone, and neither is Brad. So, what do you think about Brad Pitt's revelation about George Clooney's divorce? Was this the reason you expected, or did it come as a complete shock to you? Let us know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest celebrity news.